Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly for pricing. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a circa 2000 E-Series Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 14800ST, an unusual mid-size Royal Oak that is beautifully preserved. So, in stainless steel, the 14800 is 36 millimeters in diameter, 7.7 millimeters thick, and 43.1 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and it is designed specifically to be used with a strap. Now, you can see that this watch, being serial number E31517, comes with an extract from Audemars Piguet's archives that confirms it was produced in the fall of 2000. So it's interesting to be able to correspond a alphanumeric Audemars Piguet serial number with an exact date. The timepiece is beautifully preserved, and as you can see, it includes a strap of medium rectangular and large rectangular scale alligator leather in gloss black. On the bottom, there's calfskin. This is what's known as a bonded strap, so adhesives join the top to the bottom. There's no stitching. It creates a nice, slim, seamless appearance. It is a brand new AP factory strap, and as you can see, it features a lovely period Audemars Piguet single fold stainless steel pin buckle. So you can see it features a sticker holding the two sides together, and then it features an external buckle that echoes the rounded polygon of the bezel of the Royal Oak, and you can see it does so in satin and polish. The case is unconventional. Unlike a standard Royal Oak, which is almost always designed to join by screws and bars to a strap or a bracelet, this is designed exclusively for a strap. There's a little revetment or garage in the flank of the lugs, and then there is a bracket and screw set on each end that will join the strap to the case. So this is a very secure system because it's held on by screws. No spring bars here, very secure, but also a little bit rigid, as there is some rigidity across the wrist due to the way the strap interacts with the case. It plugs in and it locks in place. So I'm going to do my best now to show you this watch on my wrist. Keep in mind that once you pull the strap down and you loop it into the clasp, it'll be far easier to don and remove. It is super slim and extraordinarily short across the wrist, making this a suitable Royal Oak option for men and for women. And it is thinner than the modern Jumbo, by about 0.5 millimeter, no less. So the watch is slender enough to slide underneath the cuff. Taking a quick look at the case and bezel, for that matter, it's the sharpness of the lines and the fullness of the metal that strikes me. You could see that it's been refinished in time, but rarely and by professionals. It's uncommon to find a Royal Oak from this era that still has so much metal, symmetry from end to end and side to side, and definition between polish and satin. This is a really nicely preserved watch. Now you can see this watch is unusual in that the bezel is a bit asymmetrical. It's actually taller at the ends than it is in the middle, and you can see how it actually slopes down and traces the downward arc of the lugs and expands at its ends. This is an uncommon look for the Royal Oak, and it's a nuance that you could miss at first glance. Now, the original Royal Oak of 1972, designed by Gerald Genta, was inspired by a vintage diving helmet. That's where this rounded off octagonal bezel comes from, the viewing port of that diving helmet. We have hexagonal bolts, and they are bolts, not screws, which is how they align all the way around. They're made of white gold, which is why they are a darker and warmer color than the silver white of the steel. We have a crown, which is a screw-down crown, also hexagonal to match the bolts. This watch in its day was 50 meters water resistant rated. Though it's a vintage watch now, I probably wouldn't test that theory. It has a hobnail tapisserie dial in blue, which is the signature color for the Audemars Piguet Royal Oaks, and you can see it features white gold indices and white gold hands. Now you can also see there's a white gold logo up at 12 o'clock. The hobnail is created on a pantograph lathe, which is a mimicry engine that takes a large template and then transcribes the pattern from that template onto a tiny brass blank that becomes the dial of the watch. It is then galvanized blue, the most challenging color between the silver, black, and blue that are traditional on the Royal Oak. The blue is the toughest to achieve consistency while using galvanizing technique, which is why it is generally the rarest. Now you can see the dial initially glows quite well, but it fades pretty quickly as this is a period tritium dial. And in particular, you can see how quickly the hands are fading. So it is a real patina dial. And then on the opposite side, and this is another sign of the watch's integrity and survival, you could appreciate just how deep the engravings of the case back remain. Again, refinished rarely, maybe once. The quality of the case definition and the depth of the engraving speaks to the degree of preservation. And as with the original Royal Oak here, we have a monoblock case. You can see that the case back and the mid case and the lugs are all machined from a single piece. The dial and the movement and the stem all load through the front, giving the watch the same rather costly construction as the original 1972 Royal Oak. Now today, they're not made that way anymore, and that's for cost-cutting purposes. But when you see a monoblock Royal Oak, you realize you're looking at something that is traditional and took a little bit more trouble, time, and cash to produce. That is the way I like my Royal Oaks. Inside, we have caliber 2225. It's a JLC 889. Remember, when this watch was made, Audemars Piguet was in the process of selling its 40% stake in JLC to Richemont. So at the time this watch was designed, JLC was very much part of the Audemars Piguet family, and the tradition of using JLC movements in APs was long established. The movement's a bidirectional automatic winder with a 40-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate, hacking seconds, a quick set date, 36 joules, and chronometer-style 5-position adjustment. It is a thin, fine, and handsomely finished movement that is worthy of a Royal Oak. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.